1.
Alright, and with that, we will take you to Super Mario Odyssey at 8% by GanonSlayer.
Hello. Alright. So, you may notice I'm on the date and time screen right now. So, Super Mario Odyssey has a trick called Daylight Savings Time Abuse, where you set up the clock in a really specific way to do some cool stuff and make a moon spawn in Sand Kingdom. But I'll explain more on that when I get there. Am I good to go now? Can I just start?
Yeah, just give us a countdown.
Alright. Well, gotta wait a few seconds before the run starts for this trick to work, but I'll count you down when we get there. Alright. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So we are going to be starting off here in the Cap Kingdom. Pretty standard tutorial level. There's not a lot going on. Around 2 minutes of gameplay. Nothing super insane yet, no like cool tricks or glitches. Well, I guess there's some cool tricks, but there's nothing, you know, like super insane over the top yet. You might have noticed I went into first person mode there. Going to first person mode before specific things saves like small amounts of time. Like there it makes the camera snap back to the place it needs to be for the cutscene to start faster, and it saves like 0.8 seconds. Coming up here you're going to see the first use of vectoring, where basically I'm going to be moving Mario, or things that he's captured, in diagonal lines in the air, because moving at diagonal angles makes Mario move farther for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why that works, it just kinda does. And then we have our first trick of the run, which is left side cap tower. Nice. Saves around 2 seconds. Normally you have to go around the right side and climb up a ramp. It's really slow. And with that, we're done with Cap. Pretty good start, honestly. Couldn't have asked for much more. Right, coming to Cascade Kingdom next. And there is a really hard trick here that saves around 11 seconds. Where you climb up this wall on the right. Or, actually, it's directly in front of me. After you get this first moon. I'm gonna be going for it here, because it's not really a run killer if you miss it. And you can retry it as many times as you want, and I came here to show off the game, so I figured I might as well. If I lose a couple seconds to it, it's fine. Just wanted to show off the cool stuff you can do in this game. Yeah, okay. Gonna be setting that up one more time. Oh, dang it. Chain Shot broke the rock, so can't go for it anymore. That's unfortunate. I really wanted to show that off. It's a small time loss in the grand scheme of things. Just a little upset I wasn't able to show that. Basically, there's a little ledge on that wall you can stand on, and you can use it to get up to the boss fight I'm about to jump up to a bit faster. It's perfectly fine though, honestly. Just something small I wanted to show. Alright. And after that, we're just gonna need to grab one more moon, then we'll be out of Cascade Kingdom. Going into Sand, I did mention something at the beginning, so after I globe here at the end of Cascade, I'm gonna go more into detail as to what I was doing with the date and time screen. Alright. So that's enough moons to leave Cascade. So what I was doing with the date and time screen at the beginning, basically there is a seed moon that grows in the Sand Kingdom. You plant it and it's supposed to take 20 real-time minutes to grow, but by setting up daylight savings time so that it occurs right after you plant the seed moon, you're actually able to trick the game into thinking an hour has passed by using daylight savings time and grow the seed moon immediately. However, since I missed DSS and lost a ton of time in Cascade, I'm gonna have to move the clock forward 1 hour manually, so the setup I did at the beginning isn't gonna work anymore. But honestly, that's fine. Once again, small time loss. That should be less than 10 seconds lost. So yeah, it's gonna be the first thing you see me do in Sand Kingdom here, is when I roll up to the town, I'm gonna plant that seed. And normally this would grow automatically when I come out of that pipe sub area, which I'm going in a sec. But I'm gonna have to set the clock for an hour manually while I'm in the sub area. Just because I had a bit of a mishap in Cascade. So we're gonna quickly go to the date and time settings. Set the clock for an hour, hit OK, go straight back to the game. And just like that, the seed moon has spawned. Alright. So we're going to be grabbing a few quick moons here on our way to the next trick, which is called Dramstrat. Basically, what a Dramstrat is you leave Cappy by a capturable object, and then go and do something, whether it be like get a moon. In this case, it's get a moon. And you grab the moon, and then using motion controls, you can home in on the thing you left Cappy by, and capture it from far away. So, setting that up right now, gonna up throw by this bullet bill, grab this moon, and home into the bullet bill. Should be warped back up. Nice. saves around 6 seconds over doing other movement to get back up there. Oh. That's not what I was trying to do. This is fine. Alright. Some relatively new movement here for reverse Jaxie skip. Normally after that Pillar Moon you would do these next 3 moons in a reverse order. But we found out it was faster to do them backwards. So it leads to some pretty cool movement, including manipulating that bullet bill to break that block for me without ever having to capture it. Alright. And with that, we are done with Sand Kingdom as well. If you're ever wondering how many moons you need to leave a kingdom, you'll notice in the top left on the HUD, there's like a little moon counter underneath your coin counts, and it has grayed out circles for the amount of moons that you need to get. And as I get moons around the kingdom, it'll fill in those circles with the moons. Alright. Coming up next, we have Lake Kingdom. Lake Kingdom only has one major trick, but it's pretty difficult. Basically, on some specific corners, Nintendo didn't program collision properly, so with a really specific setup, you can throw Cappy through the wall and use Cappy to bounce Mario out of bounds. So I'm going to be trying to do that here, after I grab 2 quick moons at the beginning. Alright, gonna be signing up for Lake Clip here. Ah, got a fake clip there. Alright, not too bad. And the main purpose of doing that is to grab that checkpoint there, so that after I get this moon, I can immediately warp up and get another quick moon. And so by getting additional moons, you can skip the need to do the boss fight in Lake Kingdom. Which gives you 3 moons, but has a ton of cutscenes and just overall long stuff attached to it. So those were 2 quick replacement moons, and then to get the 3rd one we're just gonna get an extra moon from the town at the end. Right here. Just having a nice conversation with this lady and getting a moon out of it. Alright. And with that, we're going into Wooded Kingdom. So, Wooded Kingdom is notoriously bad for PB attempts. It has a lot of really hard and difficult movement, like weird movement that you're not really used to, and it's all really fast, and it has a pretty hard clip, like out-of-bounds clip in it too. So, just overall, not really fun unless you do it well. When you do it well, it's super satisfying, but it tends to be a pretty annoying kingdom when you're doing personal best attempts.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Alright, we have $50 from Help Computer, who says, "Shoutouts to Splatterhound. Keep on rubbing, my dude."
Oh, $50. It's quite a lot. And there you saw another example of a first-person usage on the shopkeeper. To go into that text box slightly faster. Alright, so we're coming up on that clip I was talking about earlier. The clip itself isn't really the hard part, but the out-of-bounds movement is super janky, so I'm gonna focus for this. Alright, we are good. That was really fast. Surprised I was able to do that, honestly. Alright, after this move, we've got another quick trick called Flower Road Skip. Gonna be setting up my movement in a really specific way so I can do a triple jump off this rail and use that to skip straight to this platform here. Alright. 2 more quick moons in Wooded. And then we exit the tower. And normally in a casual playthrough here, you would fight the boss here to get 3 moons. But since we skipped the first story moon, that isn't really an option. Like the first moon to progress the story in Wooded. So we have to do some pretty cool movement to get down here to get 3 quick moons. 1 from this nut up here. And then 2 more quick ones in a sub-area. This sub-area is cycle-based, so I'm gonna go purposefully a little bit slow at the beginning just so I don't go too fast for the cycle. Alright. That was a really solid wooded. Like, I'd be happy with this wooded in PB attempts. Not bad at all. That was like the main kingdom I was really worried about when I agreed to do this run, so I'm happy that's out of the way.
Nice job.
Yeah, thank you. If you have any more donations, we have some time, by the way.
Sounds good. I did want to add a note. From that $50 donation, they did add that to the Super Mario RPG file name incentive, and that run is right after Super Mario Odyssey, so your time is running out for that. They submitted Tank for that run, so that's $50, but OO is still in the lead for with 69. Nice.
Awesome.
So, exclamation point donate in chat.
Alright. And with that, we're into Cloud Kingdom. One of the filler boss fight kingdoms in this game. One of two. So I'm gonna be doing some seemingly random hits with Bowser here. Basically it's all just to manipulate him to jump the shortest amount of distance around the arena. Basically just waste the least amount of time. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention, I'm also doing a trick called Fast Hats, where I set up Mario in a specific spot, do a backflip and a cap throw, and I can grab the hat immediately. And we're done with Cloud, just like that. Okay, coming up next is Lost Kingdom. I'm not very fond of this kingdom. Mainly because it's entirely surrounded by one-hit kill poison. Which is not very fun for trying to go fast, as you'd probably imagine. If you bonk on one of these ledges and fall in the poison, you start all the way back at the Odyssey. Alright. So far, so good. Throwing Cappy back here so I can set myself up for a cap return jump. You may have noticed me use that a few times. If you jump right when Cappy comes back to you, you actually get a bit of additional height. Here I'm going to be trying to set up Mario in a really specific spot so I can make this torpedo hit the back block. Nice. Spawning that moon early so I can come up and grab it after getting another quick one. Trick there called Cage Triple, where I gave Cappy to that torpedo and then did some movements so that it would shoot at the cage as I moved over there. And taking a little death at the end because I was a bit too far down, but that's fine. That death only loses around 3 seconds, since we were just heading back to the Odyssey anyways. It's quite convenient that that death doesn't lose a lot of time because that's a pretty common one. It's easy to mess up that movement back to the Odyssey. Coming up next is Metro Kingdom. Metro is, I would say, by far the most technical kingdom in the game. There's a lot of interesting movement, and it's almost 8 minutes long. So it's just a lot to take in. A lot that can kill your runs when you're doing PB attempts. A lot of the Mario Odyssey runners will attest to that. Metro is not a fun kingdom. I mean, it's fun when you do it right, similar to Wooded, but it's like Wooded but 3 minutes longer. And it has the only major instance of RNG in the run. Well, I shouldn't say major. It's major for us, since this game is pretty much entirely RNG free. You can lose up to, like, 5 seconds from a Mecha Wiggler pattern, which I'll go more into detail when we get there. For now, just doing some standard vertical movement here, climbing up the tower as fast as possible, making that elevator cycle. Then there's just some convenient poles here to climb up the entire rest of the City Hall interior, and there's a moon up here. So that all works out quite nicely. Anyway, doing the scary jump across the entire City Hall here, making it nicely. Alright. Going to the Mecha Wiggler boss fight now. So this first phase pattern here is always the same, so I can do a quick setup to kill it quickly. Like that. But the second phase is where the RNG I was talking about comes in. So, basically, there are tens of patterns that I can choose from. And some of them are very easy to kill quickly, some are very hard to kill quickly. So, I'm gonna be hoping for a good pattern here. If I don't get one, that's not a big deal. It'll just lose me a couple of seconds. That was a solid pattern right there, alright. Good night, Metro. Okay. Still in Metro Kingdom now, although the city has brightened up a bit after you have taken care of the Mecha Wiggler. So, now there are a ton of additional moons available in the kingdom, which makes sense because you need 20 to leave and we only have 5. Pauline does want you to talk to her and assemble a band and stuff so she can hold a festival, but we're just kind of gonna ignore her and do our own thing because she's slow. So, gonna be using the scooter there to clip into the box to grab that moon. Sitting down next to this guy who just needs a friend. In fact, he gives us a power moon just for talking to him. I always like to imagine that scenario in real life, like Mario just flinging off the top of a building and landing next to a dude on a bench. Honestly, sounds like it would be pretty cool. I want to see that happen. Alright. Coming up here, we have another cycle-based sub-area. Although this time you do have to be pretty fast to make the sub-area, or not the sub-area, the cycle. So, unlike flooded pipes and wooded, here I am going to be going as fast as I can. Nice. I mean, overall, after Lake, so far this run has been really good. Oh yeah, right there I warped up to a checkpoint you might have saw me get right before the Mecha Wiggler fight. Gonna be climbing all the way up to the tallest skyscraper, and then falling all the way back down to another moon. Gonna be grabbing a Luigi coin hint art there. Gives you around 200 coins, so it's very useful for buying shop moons. Which we are gonna need to do. We're gonna need to buy one more shop moon from Snow Kingdom. So it's quite convenient that that just happens to be there. And with that, we're done with Metro. It's funny, the kingdoms that I expected to go not too well are going really well. It's kind of scary. Like, this is better than the average Metro that I would get in PB attempts. This is like a 732 or 733, and normally I'm fine with like a 737, so... Very good segment there. Alright, so yeah, coming up next was Snow Kingdom, which I briefly mentioned earlier. So at the beginning there's a little trick here to gain a bit of speed I'm gonna be going for. Nice, I got it. And then immediately fell in the water. But that's fine. Basically, on specific slopes and surfaces, if you roll onto them from higher up, and then release your roll right before you hit the ground, you can gain a weird amount of speed. Like, weirdly big amount of speed for seemingly no reason. I don't really know how that works. I've never heard anyone that does know how that works. So... yeah, kind of an interesting trick. Ah, taking a bonk there. Centered the camera a little earlier than I'm used to. Bit of awkward movement there. It's fine. Doing a spin pound on that platform as it's being pushed by the Taifu gives you a big speed boost and shoots you forward so you can grab that Seeker Moon really quickly. Alright. Gonna be going into one more of these main sub-areas. And there is a clip that you can do here that saves around, I think, 7 seconds if done optimally. Where basically instead of doing what I'm doing right now, where you grab that Goomba stack and use it to lower the wall in front of this moon, you can do a corner clip through the corner of the wall into that area. But it's really inconsistent and no one does it in runs yet, really. So I'm sticking with just the normal strat here. Yeah, that trick is called ICC or Ice Corner Clip. Okay, coming up on the last trick in Snow Kingdom here. Pretty hard jump to the platform that you're supposed to access from a warp painting after you beat the game. But we can get up there early with some really tight movement. Nice. Alright. Cool. Done with snow. Alright. So, snow's a pretty hard kingdom. Then after that we get a bit of a break in Seaside Kingdom, which is supposed to be like a vacation area in the first place. So it's kinda fitting. Seaside is sandwiched between two really hard kingdoms in the run. So it's a nice little breather. Good.
Do we have time for a couple quick comments?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so just a heads up, if you are in need of a little bit of energy, Midwest Speed Fest is partnered with Rogue Energy. Type ! Rogue Energy in chat, or check out our Twitch bio for a link to the Rogue Energy store where you can buy an energy drink. A portion of your purchase will go toward Evil Gamers.
Alright. And with that, we are done with the land section of Seaside. Heading into the water section, capturing a Cheep Cheep. Because Cheep Cheep movement is most optimal underwater, as you would probably guess, being a fish and all. Something interesting about the fish is it has this mechanic, it's the attack mechanic, where basically if you shake the controller, it's supposed to just like hurt enemies around you. But it also has some interesting properties, such as that it can be used as a ground pound. So here on these ground pound spots, if I shake my controller, I can just activate them all with the fish. And it also extends the fish's hitbox, which we're going to use in a sec after I clip out of bounds here. For fish clip. Nice. And using that extended hitbox, we can grab this moon while staying out of bounds. Alright. And with that, we're on to Luncheon Kingdom, which is the last really scary kingdom in the run, I would say. Lot of hard movement, a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Overall, not very fun. kicks it off with a trick instantly called Salt Triple, where I'm going to be setting up Mario to do a triple jump off the top of this salt pile here. And I should be able to get barely enough height to get on top of this ledge. Nice. That allows you to grab this first moon really quickly. Saves around 1 second over the other movement. Going straight into the Spirit boss fight, who we were supposed to fight in Wooded, but we just kinda didn't. Nice. That's supposed to be the Spirit refight, but since we skipped him in Wooded, that's the first time we get to see him. And I guess I should mention that really high top level runners will actually skip Luncheon Spirit as well, but that route is extremely difficult and only saves around 4 seconds, so really risky basically. Do a really hard jump around the outside of the Spirit Arena. And then there's a lot of difficult movement because when you don't fight Spirit, a lot of the moons that you would normally have access to aren't spawned. So you have to do some pretty unconventional movement to get to places. And there are very limited options for the 18 moons that you need to leave Luncheon. And also you can't get any story moons when you don't progress the story at all. Do an optimal bonk into the side of the pot here to bonk me into the moon and keep me closer to the ground. I love optimal bonks. Coming up next is probably my favorite sub-area to speedrun. Mess it up a little bit at the end there, but that is so satisfying to do quick. Alright. So yeah, this is one of the story moons that I was talking about earlier. If I had chosen to do the Spiritless route where I skipped Spirit at the beginning, this moon would not be available to me. And so all the platforms that getting this moon spawns are not available either. So top runners have to do some really crazy movement to get across this gap that's here to get to the other side. But since I'm not doing that route, we have access to all these platforms. So it's quite nice. A bit of movement up to the last story moon up here. Movement always scares me. Okay, small bonk there. Nothing major. Alright, nice. Solid luncheon overall, can't really complain about that one. Cool. Yeah. I love Luncheon Kingdom movement. Alright. And after all that excitement, we're going into the 3-minute auto-scroller kingdom. It's another filler boss fight kingdom, but it goes on for a lot longer than Cloud. It's double the time length of Cloud Kingdom and then some. But I mean, if you've never seen it before, it's pretty interesting. Because it doesn't really fit the game at all. If you haven't seen it before, you'll see what I mean in a sec. So, just some quick movement to get over to the boss fight here. And now that we're here... Realistic dragon in a Mario game for no reason. You know, as you do. Don't ask why this is here, I have no clue. But, it's kinda cool, so I'm not really gonna complain. So yeah, I'm just doing some pretty generic movement here to get over the saws that the dragon is shooting at me. And then I damage boost up on top of him to be in position to fight through the phase as early as I can. So yeah. To complete the phase, all you have to do is pull those swords out of its head, and then that releases the weak spot, and then you can ground pound it. Like that.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Alright. So, right about now we have less than 15 minutes left in the run, if everything goes smoothly. I'm looking at around a 101 pace here. Which is good considering the slight holdups I had at the beginning, that I'm gonna probably be underestimate. I was not expecting this run to go this well up until this point, honestly. Alright, 2 kingdoms left in the game. Coming into Bowser's Kingdom, which is my personal favorite casual kingdom in the game, and it's pretty fun to speedrun. I just love the overall design and aesthetic of it. And although it doesn't give you a moon counter for how many moons you do need 8 moons to leave Bowser's. So you're going to be seeing me grab a couple extra moons in addition to the main story moons that you need to progress. If you were to grab just the main story moons, you would have 6 moons at the end of it. And then when you tried to leave the kingdom, it would tell you that you need to go get 2 more moons. Alright, coming up here is going to be one of the coolest looking sections in the game if I can do it properly. And even if not, it should still be pretty sick. It's the first and only example of moon shards in any percent speedrun, where you need to grab 5 to spawn a moon. Ah, got a bonk there. But yeah, general idea there is to, grab that shard while diving back onto the platform. Not the worst, though. Pretty solid overall. Alright. Coming up here is another example of a dram strat, which I showed off in Sand Kingdom, where you leave Cappy by an object and then go get a moon. So here I'm going to be leaving Cappy by that pylon, grabbing this moon, and homing in on it, so I get warped to it immediately. Now we got the 2 brutal boss fights. So you're seeing me go into first person here. I'm doing some very specific setups with first person mode to throw Cappy in just the right angle to hit the bomb back at Harriet quickly. Nice. Alright. And then just some quick movement for Topper here, and we're done with that section of the Bowser's Kingdom. You may notice that you can see over there in front of you, there's a lot left if I'm panning the camera upwards. So yeah, basically there's a bit more movement left for Bowser's. But it goes by pretty quickly, since we only need to grab 1 more moon before we head up to the boss fight at the end of Bowser's. And that moon is this moon right here. And so now we're just heading straight for the boss fight. No more additional moons needed. Just running through this as fast as I can. Grabbing this Pokio here, which is very useful for vertical climbing. And with that, we are up to the Mecha Brutal fight. This is the last really hard thing in the game, so we're gonna focus again. Yes, okay. Oh, that was perfect. Couldn't have asked for that to go better. Basically, what you're intended to do there is wait for the mech to give you a Pokeo capture, which is the bird that I used to climb the wall before the boss fight. And then you shoot bombs back at its legs, it falls over, and then you climb up it with the Pokeo. And you repeat that for all 4 hits. But what I was doing there is I completely skipped using the Pokeo. And it was actively trying to throw me off at all times. So it's really good that I was able to pull that off. That was the last scary thing left in the run. And with that, we're heading off to the last kingdom in the game. You may have noticed that as we got closer to the end of the game, the moon in the background got closer. You can see the moon is really big there. And so, last kingdom in the game is gonna be the Moon Kingdom. For the grand finale. Moon Kingdom is actually really cool. Gives you low gravity for the outside section, so you can make some pretty cool jumps. Got dangerously close to that moon snake there. That was a little, that was a bit of a mock ass from me. Got a little up close and personal. Here we have moon skip. For some reason you can do a 90-degree wall jump on those walls, which you can't do in many places in the game, but for some reason you just happen to be able to do one there, where it saves like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or something over going through the intended route. So it almost feels developer intended, because they never patched it out, unlike with other tricks. And it was found on day 1. But that's mostly a conspiracy. There's no actual proof that they did that on purpose. It's just a little suspicious and interesting to think about. Right. Oh yeah, and I guess one just for fun thing I'll try to show off here is that the fire may look massive here, but the hitbox is actually super small, so you can roll over it without taking damage like that. Okay, took damage there, but yeah, you saw me do it at the beginning there. It's basically just a ground check. As long as you aren't on the ground, then you just won't get hit by it. And rolls push you ever so slightly off the ground. Alright. Into the last section of the game now. Where you finally get to capture and play as Bowser for the last 2 minutes. Going to the escape sequence now. So the moon cave is collapsing. We need to get the heck out of here as fast as possible. That's basically what's going on. Some cool movement in this 2D section here. So we got 2D skip, which is this. Then we got fast XD skip coming up here, which is this. Nice, alright. We're gaming. Okay. Last room in the game. Breaking these pillars here. Last one. Bowser, please cooperate with me. Please. Oh my gosh. Oh! I can't believe I just did that. I cannot believe I just did that. It's been months since I've done that. That's like 2 minutes gone. So, that's, interesting. I can't believe I did that. It has been so long since I did that. Well, if you like this movement, now you get to see it again, so I guess that's a benefit.
While they're going through this, just a quick reminder that the Super Mario RPG file name incentive is closing relatively soon, so your chance to name Ryan Ford's file is coming to an end. Exclamation point, donate in chat.
Okay, so now instead of finishing up with the 101, we should be getting around to 103, which is still perfectly acceptable for a marathon run. Just need to not die here again. Alright, yeah. So since I missed the fast hit on the early pillar at the beginning, I don't even have to worry about what happened there again. Alright, and time is going to be coming up here in a sec. Just need to claw open this moon rock and shoot off the pylon. So in 3, 2, 1, time. Alright. That run was a bit of a roller coaster. On him with a 103.44. Not bad at all, honestly. It's just a little unfortunate that I took a 2-minute death at the very end, because I would have been really happy with a 101. But 103 is still fun. I can't be mad about this. Okay. Nice cutscene at the end here.
This is great.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks everyone for the GGs.